Hundreds of people gather in Tel Aviv on Yom Kippur to pray for the Israeli hostages still being held by Hamas in Gaza. The Med-9 group of EU countries pledged support for Lebanon's military to end the fighting between Israel and Hezbollah. Authorities in eastern Romania introduced new measures after flooding last month left 7 people dead and 7,000 homes damaged. The leaders of 9 southern EU countries have pledged support for Lebanon's military to reassert control over the country's south in a bid to end the fighting between Israel and Hezbollah. In a joint declaration, the leaders of the Med-9 group said they would continue advocating for the Lebanese armed forces, which are called to play a critical stabilizing role. The unfolding situation in the Middle East is gravely alarming, the declaration said. Israel and Hezbollah have exchanged almost daily cross-border fire since the war in Gaza started last October. In recent weeks, Israel has carried out increasingly heavy strikes into areas deeper inside Lebanon and at the end of September launched a ground offensive in the country. It's estimated there are 15,000 Israeli soldiers operating in Lebanon. And Hezbollah has also expanded its rocket fire to more populated areas in Israel. Those tit-for-tat strikes have displaced tens of thousands of people on both sides of the border. Authorities in eastern Romania are introducing new measures after flooding in Galați County last month left 7 people dead and around 7,000 homes water damaged. The county council said it's looking at relocating houses that sit on floodplains and starting to repair extensive damage across the region. The council put the total cost for repairs in the county at around €150 million and says the region could be faced with a similar price tag every time there's torrential rain. Many in the region are already nervous as Romanian meteorologists have already said that similar deluges are likely in the future. Some locals are demanding firm action from the regional authorities as many people have had to rebuild their homes after extensive flooding on 3 previous occasions. In addition to the damage to homes, roads need to be rebuilt and vast swathes of agricultural land remain waterlogged. Local authorities say at least 80% of residents in the eastern county have been forced to move. Hundreds of people have gathered in Tel Aviv on Yom Kippur to pray for the Israeli hostages kidnapped by Hamas on the 7th of October last year. Yom Kippur is the holiest day in the Jewish calendar and calls on Jews to atone and repent for sins committed in the previous year. Hamas killed around 1,200 people and took a further 250 hostage during its 7th of October incursion into Israel last year that sparked the war in Gaza. Around 100 hostages remain in captivity, a third of whom are believed to be dead after most of the others were released during a week-long ceasefire in November. Many protesters accuse the government of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of not doing enough to secure the hostages' release. Some also accuse him of putting his political survival above the lives of the captives. Since the war in Gaza started in October, more than 42,000 Palestinians have been killed, but the Hamas-run health ministry doesn't distinguish between combatants and civilians in its count. Hundreds of passengers have been stranded in the French Caribbean island of Martinique after its airport was forced to close because protesters overran the tarmac. The overnight shutdown delayed flights, and airport officials urged stranded passengers to contact their airlines for information after the facility resumed operations by mid-morning. 3 planes carrying around 1,000 passengers had to be diverted to the nearby island of Guadeloupe. France's Interior Minister Bruno Retailleau said French authorities had regained control of the airport, which demonstrators targeted in the latest protest against the rising cost of living. Since Monday night, Martinique has been gripped by bouts of protests that have often turned violent. The latest round of violence prompted the government to announce another curfew as it stressed that demonstrations on public roads were prohibited. It's the latest in a string of protests that began in early September, prompting France to send special anti-riot police to the island, which has banned demonstrations in certain areas.